guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm finally back, and this week's video I'm going to be filming the 7 ways in which you can elevate your style. Essentially, always look put together. So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the tips and the ways in which I shop for my pieces, things that I look out for to ensure that my closet is something that's wearable and I don't essentially have a closet filled with clothes with nothing to wear, filled with clothes and no outfits. Now, it doesn't matter if your style isn't exactly like mine or similar to mine. These are fundamentals that apply regardless of what your style looks like. For me personally, if you follow me, you know that I care about the classic pieces, those timeless pieces, and less about the trends, unless it's sort of like a micro trend where it's already with pieces that I have in my closet. If you want to see more of my style, you can also check that out over on Instagram and TikTok, which I'll leave on the screen now in the description box of this video. But like I said, you don't have to have the same style as mine for these fundamentals to apply for you. Bearing in mind, these are not rules, they are just simple tips that I take into consideration, which have almost become subconscious. I'm not shopping with a checklist in my head of the things that I need to make sure of. It does become subconscious and almost effortless, and it's just simple ways in which you can essentially just elevate your style that you already have, not my style through you, if that makes sense. If you enjoy these types of videos, don't forget to like this video and comment down below any other videos that you would like to see. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. But with that being said, I just want to jump straight into the video. Starting off with the first point, you want to make sure that your pieces fit you well and that they almost look tailor-made to you. Now, one of the things to recognize is that if you look through time at the people who have always just looked put together and effortless, it's typically been the people who have been able to afford to look put together and effortless. Those who could afford to buy the pieces that are higher quality. Ultimately, it's easier for you to look put together when you can wear those higher quality pieces. But if you actually look at the fundamentals behind that, it's often been those that could get their clothes tailor-made for them, and this is throughout time. Not everybody does this anymore, where they go and get clothes specifically, made from scratch for them, unless it's for things like special occasions. However, if you look back in time, you would have seen that, again, those who had a more put together style or looked more put together would always get their clothes tailor-made for them, so everything would fit them essentially to perfection. Now, one of the easiest ways in which you can do this is, yes, you can go and get your clothes tailor-made for you. It is an option. Having visited many different boutiques and designers, you can find things like the fabrics they can source for you. You can source things like Loro Piana fabrics where there's the quality in that, and then you can take it to the person who's going to be making your clothes and tell them exactly what you want, get the measurements done, and you can get your clothes tailor-made. Now, another way to do this is to take your clothes to your local tailors. The best thing about this is that your clothes don't have to be of the highest price point. You can have pieces from places like Uniqlo, Massimo Dutti, COS, Arket, and if it doesn't really fit you in the way that you want to, you can take it to your tailors. Having not spent as much, taking it to your tailors, paying that amount, which would be significantly less than you maybe going and buying that designer piece, and then having this piece fit you properly, because at the end of the day, it's always about having pieces that fit you properly, not just about copying and pasting somebody else's outfits. If something doesn't really work on your body shape as well, this is something to take into consideration. Things like proportion, taking into consideration your body shape, so whether that means you have more of a rectangular body shape or a circular body shape, etc., etc. You have to take that into consideration. So for example, of course, I post fashion content, but the best thing that you can do if you're going to take inspiration from content is to then have a look at how that applies to you and how that's going to fit you. So for example, I could wear something, I am about 5'6", but I have quite long legs. You might look at a video that I filmed, you really like the outfit, but your legs might not be as long as mine, so you have to take that into consideration. Should I take this piece to the tailors, or maybe I've worn wide leg trousers. Wide leg trousers don't suit you. Maybe you're a little bit more on the petite side and wide leg trousers typically are very long on you, in which case maybe straight leg trousers fit you better. You can still take inspiration from outfits online, on Pinterest, things that you see, but you just have to essentially take it back to yourself and ask yourself, will this actually look good on me? Because at the end of the day, I can film an outfit. I'll put up an example on the screen. I have a monochrome outfit which I absolutely loved, which was a full grey outfit, and as you can see, the trousers are full length. Let's say that what looks better for you is cropped trousers. Doesn't mean you can't take inspiration from an outfit, it just means you go, right, here there's full length trousers that doesn't typically look flattering on me, so I'm actually going to get grey trousers but that are shorter, that are cropped. You can still wear the pieces that you want to wear, take inspiration in many ways, but at the end of the day, just honing it back to your style and what works for you, because honestly, one of the best and easiest ways to elevate your style is just to make sure that things fit you. You can be as rigorous or not so rigorous with this as you want. Again, it's not a rule, it's more so a thing to apply. It doesn't mean that you can't wear oversized clothing, it doesn't mean that you can't wear a different size that isn't yours. It's just about making sure that it looks good on you, because actually oversized pieces might look incredible on you, but that's something that you have to essentially come back to yourself and have a look and see, do oversized pieces look good on me, or does it look like it's drowning me a little bit? Now, my second tip is what I like to call intentional dressing. Intentional dressing is when you dress for the occasion. This might sound like a boring tip. It might just sound like I'm telling you to stick to the dress code. I'm not saying this in a form of you can't express your personal style. You definitely should. However, again, going back to when you look at in time, because at the end of the day, looking put together is a skill and an art that has been there time and time again. It's almost like a timeless skill. It is truly something that you can see throughout time. One of the things that you would realize is that everything almost looks like it was in place. So you don't look completely out of place, but you can still express your personal style. I'll give you an example. Obviously, this is quite a silly example, but let's say you're playing sports, and let's say, I don't know, I quite like golf, so I'll mention that as an example, and then I also like horse riding. If you watch my stories on Instagram, you probably know that. But let's say I'm going from golf, and I've just been playing, and then I decide this is a very, super exciting day, I just want to do sports, so after that I'm going to go horse riding. That's like wearing my golf attire to horse riding. You can see how that might look like you don't know how to dress for that occasion or how to style a piece, which is very hard to look put together if you're not dressed for the occasion. So again, I'm not saying that if it's a black tie, you have to dress like everyone else, or smart casual, you have to dress like everyone else. You can bring in that personal style, but just make sure you're dressing for the occasion. It's less so about dress codes and more so about actual occasions. Let's say you're going skiing. What I've found, if you're wearing a proper ski suit, you have the equipment and the pieces that are genuinely for skiing, you will just ultimately look more put together. It just almost just looks coherent, like you understood the assignment. Third on the list is one that you've probably heard already before, and it's to invest in your basic pieces. At the end of the day, all of your outfits are formed by basic pieces. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have a basic style. It just means to invest in the basics which will form the outfits which form your style, if that makes sense. For example, I am wearing this all black outfit at the moment. This is a monochrome outfit, so it will be the majority of my basic pieces. I'm wearing this black vest top, which definitely forms part of the majority of my capsule wardrobes. Black trousers, which form part of my capsule wardrobe. This is actually just a black cardigan, which I absolutely love, which again forms part of my autumn winter capsule wardrobe, and then just a black belt to accessorize. Now, when you invest in your individual pieces, for example, I'm today just wearing my basics. I haven't really spruced it up with anything outside of that, but because I've invested in all of my pieces, now all of a sudden when I put on a vest top, cardigan and trousers and a belt, it can look more premium, especially once I accessorize, add my bag in. It can look a lot more premium simply due to the fact that I've invested in my basics. Now, you don't have to necessarily invest in everything in your closet. It's more so the basics that form the fundamentals of your outfit and the things that you wear the most, because at the end of the day you want those things to last. So if you, for example, are a lover of cardigans, you're going to want to spend possibly a little bit more, and it doesn't necessarily have to equate to how much you spend, but oftentimes there does seem to be a link. But even if you go to places like COS, Arket, Massimo Dutti, they make incredible pieces as well, and I love shopping there as well. You can have a piece that lasts you, which is important if you're wearing that piece a lot, so that essentially it's not breaking down after a few months and then you have to go and buy it again. Especially considering the factor of cost per wear and how often you're going to be wearing that piece. So if you're wearing a cardigan like this every single day, you're probably going to want to invest in the quality. Doesn't need to mean pricing wise, but just the quality of that item. Coming from that, investing in your basics is where you'll also have a capsule wardrobe. You can choose to have a capsule wardrobe. I know I've had questions oftentimes when I've shared capsule wardrobes whether or not that's all of the pieces I have. The answer is no, especially doing what I do. That's not all the pieces that I have. That's just the pieces that I've set aside from my closet in general. I've taken out some pieces and formed a capsule wardrobe. Of course, I go outside of that capsule wardrobe, but that selection of clothing is all of the basics that I essentially invest in, because they are the main pieces that you're going to be seeing, the main pieces that I'm going to be wearing that season. For example, one of the things that I did this summer, well actually last summer, I invested in some Oran sandals from Hermes. So I decided to pick up the gold Oran sandals first. When I realized I was getting a lot of wear, I decided to pick them up in noir, which is the one in black. And what I found is that throughout this entire summer, the only shoes that I wore were Hermes Oran sandals. Now, from the outside, if you didn't realize that I invested in them as my summer shoes, you would have just thought that, wow, she just has everything Hermes. And the way I style the rest of my pieces, of course, is coherent with quality of, for example, the Oran sandals. But again, because I was wearing them all summer long, you could have looked at my outfit on a Monday or on a Thursday, and you still would have just thought, how does it just look so luxurious? When the honest truth is, I invested in this piece months ago, and it's that one thing that just elevates your entire outfit. So you could be wearing a dress from somewhere like, let's say, Massimo Dutti, style on the pair of Oran sandals, and again, it just, everything looks coherent. People think you're wearing a piece from The Row. People think you're wearing a piece from Loro Piana. I could be wearing a turtleneck, and because I've paired it with a piece that I've invested in, it just makes everything look premium. It's those same basics that you can then take to the tailors, and since it's going to be the fundamentals of your closet for that season or for however long, you're always just going to have pieces that just fit you well, because like I said, all outfits are formed from basics, so you want to make sure the basics are good so that all outfits look good. Alongside investing in your basics, you also want to invest in those timeless standalone pieces. These are your pieces that really just make an outfit incredible. I decided to pick up my bag here to mention the fact that you want to make sure that these pieces are timeless pieces. Timeless doesn't have to look like this. Timeless can be whatever you want it to be, but it's essentially things that will definitely stand the test of time. For my style in particular, it's something like this. Take into consideration things like the colors of clothes that you already wear. Look, if you're the type of person to wear things like super bright colors, maybe this isn't something you want to invest in. Maybe you want to invest in a brighter bag. This is the pieces that I love. Talking for myself, I can definitely say a piece like this is timeless due to its design. You can see it's this trapeze shape, and a lot of bags follow this trapeze shape style. For example, the Hermes Kelly. Now this doesn't necessarily look like an Hermes Kelly, but again, it's that trapeze shape that it's got. Just by doing a little bit of research on things that are timeless, the things that designer brands keep bringing out again and again, the high street do again and again, the things that come back, the things that don't just stay for a season, those are the things worth investing in. Now moving on to my fourth point is caring for your clothes, or caring for those basics that you've now just invested in. Different ways that I like to do this is to make sure that I'm steaming my clothes. This is also another way to look more expensive or more put together. You want to make sure that you're taking care of the pieces, that the pieces look good as new, that they just look crisp and just put together. And I always find, no matter what you may think, steaming your clothes and having it be crisp and just creaseless is definitely one of the easiest ways of making sure that you look more put together. And I will link all of the steamers and all of the different devices that I use for these purposes. So another thing that I like to use is my Philips debobbler. I will show you an example of this on camera because at the moment I'm wearing this cardigan. Haven't debobbled it in a while. So it's got all these different bobbles showing up. So this is a cashmere cardigan, so that tends to happen even with things like wool. I can put this on and just think, no, it's okay, I don't need to do that. And again, you don't need to do that, but it does look much nicer once you've done it. Making sure that I have a lint roller with me. I have a mini lint roller in my bag and then a larger roller, normal size lint roller. I just make sure, especially if I'm wearing black, that I have any bits of lint or dust just off of my clothes so that it just looks crisp, clean and put together. So just make sure that you take care of the pieces, you have the maintenance of the pieces, and not just that, but also the care and maintenance of yourself. Now this is very subjective, what you consider this to be, so I won't really get into too much detail. I'll say definitely for me, one of the things that means for me is going out and getting fresh air just for the maintenance of my sanity. Me personally, I like to get my eyebrows threaded. These are just very subjective things, so I'm not going to go into it. I know sometimes you'll see things like, make sure your hair looks like this, or that this looks like this and this looks like that. It's all down to what you like and your preference. But yes, at the end of the day, if you maintain yourself and your clothes, the pieces that you put onto yourself, it's definitely one of the ways in which you can look put together. Now for my fifth point, it actually has a little bit more to do with how you shop. This is one of the things that I've implemented, and I make sure that I do this to avoid regrets when I purchase. And I can definitely say that the rate of regret is very, very low, if at all. And that's simply just because I don't buy things straight away. And I think I saw another video talking about this, but this is genuinely something that I genuinely do, so I thought I'd share it in this video. You need to essentially buy slower. Now when I say slower, I feel like there's different connotations to what that means. When I say slower, I genuinely just mean when you see a piece, don't buy it straight away if it's the first time you're seeing it. For me, oftentimes when you see me wearing pieces, I've thought about it for months. For example, this cardigan is from Jenny Kane and I spotted it one night. This is typically a pattern. I find incredible pieces at night before I'm going to bed. Something comes on into my mind and I'm like, wait, search that up. I search it up and I find a piece. However, one of the best things I would say is add it to your wish list. Unless it's absolutely selling out, in which case you might want to order it if you already know the brand. You might want to order that piece if you know 100% it fits into your style. You might want to try the piece, and if it doesn't work, you can send it back. Just make sure not to keep the things that you don't actually love. And that's another thing with this, is making sure I'm buying pieces that I absolutely love. I don't keep pieces that I kind of love at all. All of the pieces I must love. It can be hard to believe because of the fact that I have quite a few pieces. It's hard to believe that I love every single one of them. Now I can't sit here and say I love every single one of them equally, but I love all of the pieces that I have. What I always find is that if you have one piece that you love and then you mix it with another piece that you love, all of a sudden you have an outfit that you absolutely love. So it's honestly one of the best ways in which you can do it, rather than having something that you kind of love and then something that you also kind of love. Chances are you probably won't like that. It's just not one to keep. So make sure to declutter those pieces from your collection to make space for the things that you absolutely love. When you see them, it's a heck yes, not a kind of like it situation. Make sure you put things on a wish list. Think about it. The reason why it takes me, for example, sometimes weeks to pick a piece to buy that I love is because I like to make sure that my brain has already come up with at least 5 ways in which I can style that piece. So for example, with this bag, which you see now, I'm going to put up the different ways in which I've styled this bag across the last, few months that I've gotten it. I've styled it every single day. I'm almost kind of scared because I don't want to use this every single day because I do like to mix and match, but it is just that good. I took into consideration how many times I was going to wear it. Does this color go with the colors that I already have in my collection? Now, to be honest, dark brown is one of my favorite colors, so I knew I was going to love it. And even if it's a piece that you don't know how to style in 5 ways, it might just be that that's a piece that you're going to wear once. And I'm not going to lie, I have pieces in my collection which I wear not once, but for specific occasions and not always. Everything in your closet should serve a different purpose, and you have to take that into consideration. A bag, for example, is fine for me to be wearing every day, but of course I want to invest in something that I'm going to be wearing for my events because that's important to me, might not be important to you, so think about what's important for you. You need to accept that it's not going to be a piece you're going to wear every day. That doesn't mean you've made an unsuccessful purchase or that you regret it. It just means, especially once you've got your capsule wardrobe, you can start shopping outside of that for pieces that are a little bit more fun. Just make sure you have your basics sorted first, and from there you can have fun with, the different things that you're only going to wear about 3 times, but it's fine because it still fits within your style and you already have your basics to work around. For the penultimate tip, play around with different textures. I feel like, especially as I mentioned basics here, it's very easy to genuinely think that you're wearing a boring outfit and find it boring simply because maybe you're not playing around with textures and accessories in the correct way. I'll show you guys an example of an outfit that I wore in Monaco not long ago. It was a beige wool coat that you would have seen in one of my hauls from Arket, and then the entire base of the outfit was white with black accessories and my brown bag. Here, what I've decided to do is mix that wool from the coat, which has brought in that certain texture. The bag has that leather with the weaving detail of the leather, so that's a certain form of texture included in there. You can even say things as far as, the leather on sandals is a smooth leather, things like that. But I wouldn't even go that deep. I would say just in things like, for example, the coat that I have on is wool and it adds that texture. You don't want to play around with too many textures in the same outfit and look a little bit just too much. But one of the things that I would do is definitely make sure to include textures into your outfits, especially as you hone more into the basics and you learn to just work from the foundation upwards. Again, this has nothing to do with the colors that you like wearing. That coat could have easily been a different color. The whole outfit could have been a different color. Just wear what suits you. But at the end of the day, for me, this is what I chose to wear. But like I said, playing around with textures is one of the ways in which you can make sure that your outfits don't become boring. Which, don't get me wrong, it's easy to do that when you don't accessorize properly with your basics. Like sometimes I'll put together 2 pieces and I don't really want to put a belt, and it does look quite basic, and I know that it's a piece that looks basic and that's what I want to wear that day. But if I really wanted to bring out the most of that outfit, I would add accessories, different textures in bag, and also just making sure that I am accessorizing. So whether that's with jewelry, with belts, bags, things like that. Definitely don't want to find your style boring. It's not going to inspire you and you're not going to be having fun. As the saying goes, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And lastly on this list, this one is slightly aside from all of the fashion tips and it's genuinely to just do with yourself. At the end of the day, if you genuinely want to look put together, you can take all of these tips into consideration. I'd argue this one is the most important, which I know a lot of people say, but it's the confidence that you hold. Me and you could be wearing the same exact outfit. I could be more confident in that outfit because it matches my personal style. You could be wearing it, maybe it doesn't match your personal style, but you just wanted to wear it. You're still gonna feel the difference. I can have that confidence. I love this outfit. And to be honest, confidence doesn't just come from the outfit, it comes from within. If I'm carrying myself with confidence, it will come across differently. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you wear, what patterns you wear, if you love super bold prints or not, if you love wearing lots of color or not, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, one isn't better than the other. It's simply about the confidence. That confidence actually comes in the form of working on yourself, making sure that you're genuinely becoming a better person, making sure that you're doing the things that you want to do and not just sitting around and watching everybody else go out and do it. And I know this is a slight twist to the video, but it's genuinely true. If you have the confidence, you can just about put on anything and make it work. That is the true effortless style. It's the confidence. It's how someone holds themselves up. And confidence isn't arrogant. It's not the fact that you walk into a room thinking, I'm better than you because I'm wearing this brand. I'm better than you because my outfit is just better or it's more expensive. That's different to confidence. So confidence isn't that arrogance. Confidence is the ability to walk into the room knowing that you're becoming the best version of yourself and you're walking into this room wearing what you love and you have that confidence from within. It's not about being better than everyone else, it's just about being better than, to be honest, who you were yesterday. Being better than yourself is really the game, and that's where you get that confidence from, working on yourself, getting better, improving, whether that means reading, meditating, going on walks, whatever that means to you, making sure that you really hone in on that. Don't miss out on working on your character and your values. Remember to keep that in place. Don't just think it's the clothes or the brands or how much you spend. It's really not. At the end of the day, yes, those things matter, but at the end of the day, single-handedly, the thing that will affect whether or not you look put together is how confident you are in yourself. With that being said, that is the last tip of this video. I feel like I've been rambling for a bit. Those are the 7 ways in which you can elevate your style and essentially always look put together. If you want more videos like this, or maybe a part 2, because I feel like I could go on forever, let me know in the comment section down below any other videos you want to see as well. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope to see you guys very, very soon in my next video.